Hello and welcome to tonight's episode of Rock for Him. I am one of your hosts, Riker Levine, joined by my two co-hosts, Jason Sanchez Bukowski and Jeremy the Big Boy. How's it going, guys?
What's up, man?
Good, really good.
Yeah, it is always a blessing to be recording with you guys. Also joining us tonight is a band that needs absolutely no introduction because everyone watching this is going to know exactly who they are. The
Better
guys
stop
from
right there.
Disciple.
Better stop right there. If you say we need no introduction, then you keep saying stuff, then it's like,
Can't introduce them all.
You're right.
which
I'm
one
not going to
is
say who they are, but
it?
But now you've set yourselves up, okay? You guys need to introduce yourselves.
we
Yeah,
are,
I'm
we
gonna
are
pretend I don't know who you are.
It is.
Decipher down. I'm sorry, Riker. I cut off your really
No,
nice.
it's fine. No, it's fine. Go ahead and go.
Disciple.
Dis,
Yes, disciple.
disciple, and if you guys could just tell me your names then, just so that anyone who doesn't know, who happens to not know, will know your guys' names.
I am disciple one.
All
I'm Andrew, the only one actually named after a disciple.
It's true. I am Josiah. I was named after an Old Testament pre-disciple.
Pretty good king.
My name's Joey. I was named after Jesus' dad.
Very good.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you may notice you're one member short. He's kind of the least important window, so it's not a big deal. Now, he'll be here any minute, and he will make a grand entrance. So this is our warm-up.
He's the only one without a biblical name.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably don't let him start the interview with us.
Yeah.
All right, well then, so with that, you guys have just released a deluxe album of Skeleton Psalms. Tell us a little bit about that.
Thanks for doing the artwork and the intro rollout there.
It looks great.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
awesome.
ooh. We love.
Yeah.
So that artwork. We'll tell a quick story about that. That was very last minute, getting that artwork turned in time and getting it, submitted so that it could even exist. So we were pretty late on that, and so we haven't even seen it all that much. Like it's just been the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so it's still one of those things where since we don't have physical copies yet, we see it and we're like, wow, that's really good. like we weren't sure if we were going to even do a separate cover, and then our artist turned that in, and it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we had a conversation where we were debating on doing other artwork, and the thing that we landed on was like, if whatever we come up with is not better than the original cover, then
We don't need to do it.
it's getting scrapped. But
Right.
We'll let our artist take a shot at it. And he sent our first version in that we didn't super like, and then we gave some feedback and like provided a couple more ideas, and then he sent that, the one that you see as the final, and we were all unanimously like, yeah.
And it's
That's
cool.
perfect.
So it's fun 'cause it's one of those things where now when I see it, like we saw just now, and I'm like, oh, that's a good cover. And I'm like, oh, it's ours.
Yay.
It doesn't happen as often as I would like, but every now and then I'll hear a song, usually from like a couple albums ago, if it's on a promo or something, and I'm like, oh, that song sounds cool. And then after 3 or 4 seconds, it's like, oh, that's our song. That's cool.
Oh,
You
nice.
know,
Yeah.
it's hard to get objective perspective a lot of times.
Objective perspective. Wow.
Yeah, that's the
Sounds
next. That's the next album title.
Sounds like a punk band.
Detective
Yeah.
Objective
Well,
Perspective.
the guy to thank for that, for putting the art in there for that intro is Jason, because he does all of our intros. So thank you, Jason.
Yeah,
No
thanks.
problem.
Yeah, bro.
I was excited when I opened up my email and I seen it in there. I'm like, yes, I get to add it.
Nice. Well done. Well done.
Well, thanks for, as we were just talking before the interview started, for coming out to see us on Winter Jam and Kingdom Come Festival and the other shows you guys have seen us at. It's a cool community, that we've been able to grow with and experience for the last week. We've been in the band for 12 years. Kevin started the band.
Who started the band?
How long ago?
I don't know who those guys were that started it before I got there.
Yeah.
They had the band on before I got there.
Hey,
There he is,
Kevin. Hey.
It was always touring.
It was never boring.
Kevin started Disciple.
I know. Come on.
Yeah. So
Welcome back, Kevin.
Again.
we're just trying to make this work as far as the framing goes.
We can-
It's not, you know.
We've been
We can
talking
see
about,
how you guys
talking about firing one of us so that we can fit into Zoom windows more easily.
You guys
Perfect,
just
yeah.
got to pretend that you guys don't hate each other after so much touring.
Right. It's quite an act.
We don't. I would literally rather be in a room with these people than anyone else in the world.
Nice.
Breaking the heart.
Yeah, except for my wife and kids, of course.
Yes.
He knows they're
He
watching.
knows they're watching.
Well, tell us a little bit about the deluxe edition of Skeleton Psalms. Like, we've been listening to it. We've actually had it for what, week and a half now, and we've been listening to it a lot. Tell us a little bit about it, like coming from your guys' standpoint.
It's cool because last time this actually is really cool. Maybe you've already talked about this on other interviews, but like on our last album, Love Letter Kill Shot, when COVID hit, we kind of thought, well, we've got a couple of songs. Why don't we try? It was our first time trying self-producing some songs internally. There were 3 songs on that album that hadn't made the album, and we said, let's just finish these, see what happens, and put out a quote-unquote deluxe edition of that album. And that was just 3 new songs, nothing else. But people really liked it, and we really liked the process, and it kind of, from a release standpoint, it kind of opened our eyes to the fact of, if you hold some songs back off the album, you kind of give those later songs this kind of fresh spotlight and fresh chance to get heard. And so when we were making Skeleton Psalms, we kind of made the original album of Skeleton Psalms with the deluxe already in mind, knowing that any song we're not putting on this album is going to get its time in the sun. And that also gave us,
Helped us focus on just the 10 that we
Yes.
were putting on the album.
so we really tried to make the album proper, just 10 great songs. And again, knowing that they would.
Did
come
you
later.
mention that Darkness Dies, the success that it had?
Oh, great point. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like on Love Letter Kill Shot, we did the deluxe. We found out 2 things. Number one, that we could produce on our own an album that actually sounded pretty good. So if that hadn't happened,
Right.
we
Yeah.
wouldn't have done Skeleton Psalms with Josiah producing it. So that helped us figure that out. And then number 2, those were B-sides that didn't make the record. And Darkness Dies is our best performing radio single of all time, which
So,
also taught us that we don't know what we're doing when picking radio singles. So
Yeah.
we're actually the worst people to pick the radio singles. So I don't know who we're going to get to pick the radio singles moving forward. But so the songs that we have for the B-sides this time, it's not even B-sides, it's deluxe. And it's almost like we know that those songs are now going to kind of have a spotlight like Darkness Dies did, and probably become more popular in ways because there's less of them. So like, songs like Sound the Alarm and If You Say So and Now Never Sleep and Make War, I mean, they really, because there's less of them, there's more focus on them.
Yeah. Less of the pie share.
Yeah. And it seems like people are really digging them.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's-
for sure. I know Sound the Alarm has been on our top 15 pretty much every week since you released it. And that's not music that we pick. We have a Facebook chat group and people can go on and vote for it. And like every time you guys drop a song, it's been on there for the entire run that we keep it on. So people really are digging what you guys are putting out.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
And I mean, personally, I just really appreciate. I mean, the singles you've been putting out, like "Sound the Alarm" and "If You Say So," and then others like "Executioner" and "Bad Words" and ones like that are really, the more metal heavy ones, the ones that are just kind of get your blood pumping a little bit. I am I'm a part of the show, so you can kind of tell, but I'm a huge metalhead. I love metal, but obviously, there's a lot of metal out there that is very non-Christian, very secular, very rough. And so I've been trying to, especially recently, listen to a lot more music that's life-giving, metal that's life-giving. And so your songs are always in the rotation. And I can enjoy the music so much. I love that style of music, but then also listen to the lyrics and know that I'm listening to something that's genuine and life-giving. And so, yeah, I love the music and the messages behind them. It's just so, yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's super
thanks,
cool.
Riker. Yeah.
We got a couple metalheads in this band, so that they're contributing to your cause.
Not on.
Love it. So,
Beach Boys.
what
For their time.
For their time. Yeah.
Yeah.
what brought you guys to redo Resurrecting Reasons? Like,
Re-resurrecting reasons, if you will.
yes,
Re-res-
re-resurrecting Reasons.
Yeah, I think again, just kind of looking at what other bands are doing nowadays and what's kind of
Deluxes.
for deluxes and what's kind of working. We love Papa Roach, and one instance that I saw that inspired that idea was they had a song that was on their album just as a Papa Roach song, and then they re-released it with a Beartooth feature. We also love Beartooth.
Foo Fighters did it with a song and her.
That's right. Yes, with her.
Re-sang like the whole song.
There you go. So it's like seeing stuff like that just kind of opens your mind.
Not the pronoun her, the actual
the
artist known as
yeah,
her.
artist known as her.
Artist currently known as her.
Yeah. So it just kind of opens your mind to like, oh, that's like an option, you know. And so then you just kind of start thinking about, well, what would it look like if we did that? And so we tossed around a couple of ideas of who would be good for what song, and I think you were the one who was like TJ on Resurrecting Reasons.
Yeah, I've been trying in interviews trying to remember whose idea it was.
I
for
think
TJ.
I put that idea out of like a collab with a singer, and he came back with like Resurrecting Reasons is like a TJ type of song.
Yes,
That's
okay,
southern, soulful, grungy
Yeah,
kind
okay.
of thing.
It feels like he was always a part of it. You know?
Yeah.
Not the writing process.
His
but
voice
the,
is so
the
good.
sound. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've been friends forever, and so it's just really cool to partner up with somebody. I mean, for the first time, really, in that respect. Kevin played bass for Decipher Down on a tour in 2009. Then
There were two members of Decipher Down on stage, and three members of Disciple, so we called it Disciple Down as a
Disciple
joke.
Down.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Nice.
So it's really cool. It's not just like, oh, here's this band that, you know, we have a similar fan base. It's way more than that. It's like these are friends. One of our first tours as this lineup, we rode this bus and shared the bus with Decipher Down to go on City Rock Fest tour. And so just a lot of great history. And so to be able to bring TJ on in a capacity where we know he's going to shine and kill it, it's just his kind of vocal, right? And then it worked out perfectly where we get this tour where we get to go play some shows together. And so last night in South Carolina, we performed it with him for the first time. We'll be doing it tonight as well.
That is awesome.
Not bad for our first time last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That's fantastic. So, I got to tell you, like, when I became a Christian, one of the first Christian rock metal bands that I personally heard was Disciple. Like, I came from a background of listening to like Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax. I became a Christian, and all I heard was like the K-Love stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is all Jesus is my boyfriend music. I don't know if I can listen to this. Like, every song is Jesus carry me, Jesus hold my hand. I'm like, he's not my boyfriend. I cannot listen to this music. So
never heard
a
it put so elegantly.
deacon at our church brings me horseshoes and hand grenades, and is like, I need you to listen to this. I was like, okay. So I started listening to it. I'm like, wow, this is Christian? And he's like, yeah. So I have been a fan ever since then. And then the second thing he gave me was a Decipher Down CD. So it's kind of awesome for me that you guys did a song together. I'm like, yes, it's like
well, the irony
worlds
is
collide.
that Dear X on Horseshoes and Hand Grenades is about an ex-boyfriend, so maybe there's.
So
Or-
I just wanted to personally thank you guys
depending
for
on
that.
Oh, that's going to get clipped and put on.
That'll be our promo for the episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. So Jeremy, what do you got, man? I'm doing all the
So-
talking.
Yeah,
So
like,
I know you guys also put some live tracks on there. Who picked all those out?
Hmm.
And was there like a
It was Josiah's idea, and then I picked all the tracks. It was a live show, so some of the songs sounded better than others. As far as like when you're live, and we want putting it out there on an album that people will have 20 years from now. Wanted to make sure we actually picked the ones that we did a good job of. The problem with that show was it was the first night that we played most of those songs. So there was the live track of Bad Words. It was the first night we ever played it. It was not good, and now we play it. We love it. Like it, it's really one of my favorite songs to perform live. But that night, this first night, and it was trying to figure things out. But it was really cool because we had I Just Know and Long Live the Rebels, Oh God Save Us All, those songs that I really love playing those live and love the energy of those live. You kind of can hear the crowd, singing those anthems, back to us. And so it was cool to capture that for people that have never got to see Disciple, and you can kind of feel the energy, from the crowd, like while you're listening to the track. And so that's really cool.
Nice.
So of the ones on Skeleton Psalms, which one is your favorite to play live?
Down for me. Ooh, yeah.
It'd be toss up between Scapegoat and Bow Down.
I like If You Say So a lot as well. Yeah, it's kind of got a worshipful moment in it. The Here I Am, Send Me part of the song is really, really cool connection part with the crowd. But the Bow Down is also just pretty fun.
Yeah, we weren't expecting Bow Down to be as big a deal to fans as it became. We were talking about it in our last interview. It's like it wasn't even going to be on the album. It would have ended up on the deluxe edition most likely, and then at the last minute, we switched Make War and Bow Down. So Make War got bumped to the deluxe release, which is totally fine. It ended up being the song that the album needed, and it's like
So many people like Make War.
Yeah,
I've seen so many comments about that.
I would say it's probably one of my favorite lyrics from any of the songs on there. Like I really, really, I remember listening to it for the first time, just getting really, really excited listening to it. So yeah, I really resonate with the lyrics on that song.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I live that song lyrically, and so it's really cool. And really, the only reason that it got bumped off of the original 10 was because a lot of times when we're putting together what songs are going to make it, we look at it from two different perspectives. Like musically, what is this album doing, and what do we think it might need musically? Because there's that contingent of Disciple fans that love heavy stuff, so we got to make sure we have something for them. There's a contingent of Disciple fans that might like something a little bit more melodic, so we're going to make sure that that's in there. And then just the straight, hard rock that we're capable of, making sure that that's also like 80%, 70% of the album. But then lyrically, what are we talking about? We're trying to make it a priority to be very vertical meaning we're pointing to Jesus. And we felt like that we needed in the original 10, that we needed something. It needed just one more song that was overtly vertical, talking about Jesus. And Josiah had this song, and it was called "I'll Never Sell Out." And it was most of the same lyrics, and I didn't really like the phrase "never sell out," but I liked all the other things. I like that it was pretty much the lyrics were almost exactly the same. And I said, what if we change that to "I'll never sell out" to I'll never bow down, and we kind of have this imagery, modern day imagery of the three Hebrew children and Nebuchadnezzar, the idol, and all those things, Satan taking Jesus up, and saying, I'll give you the kingdoms of the world if you just bow down. Basically just all those metaphors, and we changed sell out to bow down, have that be this thing in the song. We were like, yes. We literally did it at the last second. Was it 2 weeks before the album needed to be turned in?
Yeah, it was a day or two before we're doing Drum Day, which is at the end of the album.
Yeah.
So Joey had to switch gears.
Yeah, Joey's ready for Make War. He's going in to record Make War. And we're like, hey, we finished this other song. You got to learn it real quick
Yeah,
instead
it was
of
like
more.
2 or 3 days, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like
I mean last second.
yeah, wrote those
Mhm.
drum parts, and basically it was just like came into the studio not like 100% knowing what I was going to do. I was like, I've got a good working like idea of it, and then I know once I get in the studio, the ideas will keep flowing, and with the guys there, they'll be like throwing out suggestions and everything, and then we just landed on what we were on the record, which is awesome.
Yeah, so it's kind of a cool story to that song even like made it, and it really just comes from that mentality of we were just looking at the album like what do we think it needs, and yeah, and that's what we came up with. And now Make War gets its own spotlight and time in the sun, and so many people are digging it and resonating with the lyrics of it, and I think it was just meant to be.
For sure, for sure. I want to talk a little bit more about Resurrecting Reasons, because the lyrics to that are phenomenal. I love how it comes from like a place of almost like this pain where you're talking about pushing away like the sunshine, and just how this person is just suffering, but there's someone there in hell basically standing there next to them, just
Yeah.
resurrecting Jesus in them. I'm like, oh, that is powerful. Like, if people could just connect with that, that yes, you're in pain, but you have someone there standing there right next to you. If everyone had that, like those are probably some of the most powerful lyrics I think I've heard in any song. Like, that was some solid writing right there. Like, thank you guys for that song.
Thank you. I think for Christians who really blow it and kind of miss the mark in a big way, the shame that you feel as a Christian. Obviously, Christians always struggle with something. Whenever that struggle turns into like a war, and turns into like an addiction, or just this thing that no longer you feel like you're just separated from God. The amount of shame. Obviously, someone who's not a Christian will feel shame, but a Christian who has just really blown it, that kind of shame is crippling, and it makes you feel unloved. It makes you feel unworthy. It makes you feel like that God doesn't love you, that He's abandoned you, and even though the accountability all belongs to you, and all the things point to you, for some reason we still will think God has abandoned in those moments. I don't know why that's the thing, but it's just normal, and we all think that. And that was a song that I also lived, and was just feeling all of those feelings, and really that promise of grace of Him just kind of like sitting with me in that hell, sitting with me in that pain, sitting with me in that shame, and me asking the question like, why are you here? You're not supposed to be here. Everything says you're supposed to have left me. You're supposed to have abandoned me. How are you still here with me? Why are you still asking me to join you in this mission that you have in this world when I feel so unworthy? And I think that, for those people that have felt that way, and myself who has felt that way, it was my way of preaching the gospel to the prodigals that, that God's not finished with them yet.
That's awesome. Love that. Love that. So last time you were on, Kevin, you were talking about the video for Resurrecting Reasons and how you were just like, I hate doing videos. I hate it. We just recently watched the video. It's fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, that was an awesome video.
Yeah, it was. We just wanted to capture us. That Metallica had a video called "Nothing Else Matters," and it was really them just in the studio,
Yeah,
playing the song. And I always loved that video because you're taking all the flashiness away of the performance and the show and whatever their stage clothes were and the lights and the production and all that. You're taking that away. They're in the studio. They're doing their thing. And I don't think we've ever really had any kind of music video that kind of sees us in that light, where we're performing the song. And I was like, I think it's time for us to do something like this. And really, I think the idea was just to shoot some stuff for social media. and then at the last minute was like, well, if we're going to shoot some stuff for social media, we might as well edit it like a music video, and it turned out way better than any of us thought it would.
Yeah, fun
It's
fact about that.
fantastic.
Fun fact about that video too is I was supposed to be in Nashville with the guys, but in that video I am not there. I'm actually playing drums in my home studio, and I filmed it on my iPhone. And the reason is I had an unexpected medical procedure that came up the day before, and I was literally still high on anesthesia. 'Cause they had to put me under, and I could not travel for like the next 24 hours. So there was no way I was getting on a flight to go to Nashville and do this. So I recorded all those parts, kind of still woozy from anesthesia, and filmed it on my iPhone. And our video director, Joel, was able to kind of seamlessly make it look like I was there, but I wasn't. So
It really does look like a studio.
yeah, it worked out very, very nicely. I wish I could have been there to like be filmed with like the high dollar cameras, but you know,
An iPhone is a $high camera.
that is true.
Yeah.
That's true. It is. That's true. It is. Well, kudos to Joel. He's an amazing dude.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
He's done a lot of great work for us over the years.
And I said I hate doing music videos. Did I really say that?
Yeah, you're like,
you did.
you're like,
Yeah.
I do not like making music videos.
I don't think let me maybe rephrase that. I don't think I hate them as much as that they're so darn expensive, and there's only so many things you can do with a music video.
And it's a lot of
So
work.
it's a lot of work. It's really stressful. So yeah, maybe I was feeling all that day when I talked.
Maybe. So tell us a little bit about the tour you guys are on and what you guys got coming up.
Well, we're doing a show tonight in Virginia. We kicked it off last night in South Carolina, and we'll be in Kentucky tomorrow. And then next weekend we're going to be in Michigan. Yeah, Adrian, Michigan. And what's the other one? Raleigh. Yeah. So we'll be mostly in the southeastern part, but if you're anywhere near Michigan, it's a great venue. It's got a lot of space. It's going to be good sound, good stage. The other ones are going to be awesome as well.
Yep.
Adrian, I just know because we played there last year.
Adrian's a great show.
Yeah, really good show. But it's a fun experience because we've been doing shows a lot just with us, no opener, not really part of a tour package. We did some shows with Seventh Day Slumber last fall, so that was great. But yeah, so far this year we've just been playing our solo shows, which we love doing. But I like having an opener or a support band that we get to sort of expand the whole concert experience by having them around. And then, like we said earlier, Decipher's been on the bus with us several times, so they're family at this point. Which another fun fact is, tell me if I'm wrong, they were originally going to be called Decipher, and then they changed it to Decipher Down because they didn't want it to sound like Disciple. Too much like Disciple.
Actually,
That was you?
I had a conversation with him, and I was like, guys, it'd be really cool if, I said, I've had like 3 people walk up to me today and say, Decipher, I love your band, your song I Just Know is awesome, or whatever. Or something like that. I was like, it's too close. It's 3 syllables. And to all of us hillbilly rednecks down here, we can't pronounce it correctly. So I said, it'd be really cool if you like added a word or something. And they were like, yeah, that'd be cool. I think they had a big talk about it, and it worked out for them because their name was awesome, and then they got to have that logo with it. Yeah, amazing logo.
Did you guys have any? I'm just curious now off the top of my head. Did you guys have any alternative name options for Disciple for your band?
Yeah, everything we came up with was really bad. Disciple was a name that we came up with when I was 13 because we had a song called Disciple. It was the first song we ever wrote. And so we basically were trying to come up with something. We said, we'll just call ourselves Disciple until we find something better. And we genuinely kept looking. And the closest thing we ever got was whenever we signed with INO Records, who now later became Fair Trade Records. We talked to them and asked them if we could change our band name to Black Box, because we thought the black box was a cool thing as part of an airplane. Like, even if the airplane goes down, it still survives. So we thought that would be a thing, and they
Makes recordings.
yeah, and it makes recordings as well. So we thought that would be a cool band name, but everyone we've ever told that to thinks that is the stupidest band name they've ever heard. And and the record label was like, we're not interested in a band called Black Box. We're interested in your band that already has a fan base called Disciple. And so we were just like, look, that's just what it's going to be. Just stop trying to change it. It is what it is. But we tried. Everything we came up with, honestly, was terrible. We just weren't good. If we could write a good song, great. We could not come up with a good band name. So there you go.
Nice.
I mean, Disciple's a great name. So
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm glad you think so. I came up with it when I was 13. So
It's got a very like simple elegance to it, you know, which I appreciate in band names. When bands try to do too much, it gets
Yeah.
confusing. So yeah,
Simple.
it's a
and
good
elegant.
name.
Obviously.
I am simple. I don't know. Elegant is up to you.
Yeah, I remember
I don't know.
Matt Bellamy from Muse was talking about how they arrived on the name Muse because they wanted something that would fit on a billboard, you know, make it the entire size of the
Genius.
billboard, and it would, you know, like feel balanced and be quick and easy to read and all that stuff. There's a lot, there's a lot more than we realize that goes into that. Like U2, for example, you know, just the two characters or whatever it is. Like some bands, you get lucky and you can reduce the name down to a logo, and it works.
Disciple
really
fits on a billboard, but when it gets printed on that billboard, it's spelled wrong.
Yeah. It's not the
Uh-oh.
easiest word to spell. It's a very hard word to spell. It's like if you're not used to typing it out or writing it, and it's been a long time since you've even seen the word or heard the word, you know, and then you write it, chances are you will misspell it. It's not very speller friendly.
Yeah, we've seen Disciple.
Yeah, there's a billboard that is bringing us in, and we drove by it, and I was just like,
Oh no.
We were stoked too. We were
yeah,
like,
we're like,
first
oh, we're on a billboard.
We're gonna
We're gonna
take a picture of
post it. It's on social media.
Never mind.
Yeah, never mind.
Hey, Decipher is not the easiest one either. Has a billboard ever gotten both wrong?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure they spell it wrong intentionally. So if somebody actually spells it right, you know, then it's still wrong.
Right, because they use an F.
Mm-hmm.
And a
Why?
Y.
Why?
And a Y.
And a Y.
Which makes it's more sense than the actual spell. Like IPH. Come on, that's stupid.
Maybe we should have misspelled disciple, and then we wouldn't be confused with the other 1,000 disciples that are out there. So
Yeah.
if we would have spelled it, that would have been the way to go.
Or take out the vowels.
Yeah.
ESCO.
There's still time, guys. It's
There's still time to change your name.
after 30 years, yeah, there's
30 years in. Let's change it.
Well, I mean, you kind of did it with Honor and Glory, so you know.
We did.
Yeah, and that name has an amazing story too. I know it's kind of a sidebar, but we started out with that worship project as this idea to do exactly what Honor and Glory is doing, but it was going to be called Kevin Young Worship or Kevin Young because Jeremy Camp, Chris Tomlin, Matt Maher, whoever you want to pick that. It's just kind of the style. And he'll tell the story better than me, but he basically had this experience where it's like, well, if the goal is to use this music, you know, in a different way from Disciple to like just only honor and glorify God, calling it our name or one of our names, or in this case, his name, it's like kind of counterproductive. So he came up with Honor and Glory, which I think is the best worship band name. Like, I love it. I was
For
like,
sure.
this isn't taken. And so it's worked out really well in that sense for us because it keeps everything partitioned. You know, with Disciple, we're making an effort to entertain people and be artistic and be very expressive as musicians and lyricists and everything like what we talked about.
What was the name of our metal band?
Death Penalty?
Death Penalty.
Yeah.
I think Death Penalty is the best band name that we've come up with.
He also came up with that. So he's 3 for 3.
Death Penalty. If we could have went back, start it all over. Death Penalty's the best band name I've come up with, but it's more metal sounding. So if we do a metal side project, it will be called Death Penalty.
And I think a lot of people feel like we gave up on Death Penalty, but here's what happened, because we made the mistake of talking about it in interviews before we had it off the ground. But we decided, like, okay, Disciple albums in 2016, we were spending a lot of tracks getting that like middle AC ground cover with like God Is With Us or Invisible or whatever. And we love doing those songs, and so we've got room for some rock songs, but we don't really want to do worship songs. We don't really want to do like heavy, maybe darker subject matter metal songs. So let's start bands that do those things, because we like making records ourselves and all that stuff. But what happened is we wrote a song for Death Penalty called Reanimate, and we're like, well, that's going to go on a Disciple album.
Yeah, we kept writing metal songs, and we never would let Death Penalty have them. They became Disciple songs.
Yeah, everything that we do
because we're there. The metalheads were like, they're like, no, man, Disciple's playing that, and so I'm sure like appreciate that. So
maybe
I do.
Disciple just has to do a full-fledged metal album and just call it Death Penalty.
I don't know. It's just
hey, there's an idea.
We like metal songs.
Album title.
What?
Album title? Death Penalty.
Death Penalty.
Yeah.
Or song title. And we tried to get
album title.
Wolves at the Gate involved as well, because we love his screaming style, and we had some fun ideas about having them alternating vocals and stuff, and it didn't really work out to like collaborate as easily as we hoped, but I still have hope that we'll get him on a song one day, because we love their stuff. So
that'd be awesome.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, we really want to be respectful of your time. I know you said you had about 45 minutes, so if you got time for just a couple more questions, I wanted to ask you about your social media, because I think we all follow you guys on pretty much everything, and I love what you guys post on TikTok. Like, some of the stuff is just completely hilarious. Like, I'll be sitting there laughing, and my wife's like, "What are you laughing at?" And I'm like, "Disciple." She's like, "All right, whatever."
Where are you from, by the way? I'm hearing your accent. Where are you from?
We are near Flint, up in Michigan.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Yep, all three of us are right around Flint. So
yeah, I knew you were somewhere near, like, Chicago-esque.
Chicago-esque,
The
few hours
the
away.
region. Yeah,
a few hours away. It's like I'm listening to an SNL skit right now. Okay, continue. Sorry.
So
my accent sounds like I'm an idiot. Your accent sounds like
I'm an idiot. I get it.
Oh, like a Lions or Bears fan. Packers, Lions, Bears fan.
Not Bears.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Not Bears. Not Bulls.
Exactly.
So yeah, I was just gonna talk to you a little bit about your social media. You guys put a lot out. Like I know our phones listen to us, but like my For You page has just been blown up with Disciple stuff. Like every other video is you guys on there playing acoustically, some live stuff, a little bit of a funny material. Like, how much time you guys put into that? Because it seems like every other video is Disciple right now.
We've really kind of made an effort to do that. It's a very conscious effort the past few months to get more involved in our social media and connect with people that way. We've been doing something called Patreon, the Rebel Society, which is people subscribe to it. And we've been doing it for like 5 or 6 years. And so there's a lot of older content that's on there that we've now been able to release for free on YouTube with the blessing of the subscribers of our Patreon. But also these guys they're really funny. And funny kind of wins the internet. And so it's just literally just kind of whatever they come up with that day, just, making sure somebody captures it on film and you go like that. I mean, like his eating a snack in the middle of a show. I don't know if you saw that video.
Yep. Seen that.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, well, like, all right, we're going to make a video us playing drums or guitar or writing song or performing, and it takes, all this, like, intense practice and energy, and, maybe it gets a few hundred views or whatever, and then a video of me and Josiah doing rock, paper, scissors. It's 15,000 subs. So that's what people really.
Yeah,
People are on there to watch something funny happen,
and that's
which
just
I guess
yeah.
we are too.
It's like they're doing that stuff anyway. It's just
Yeah.
someone took the time to finally, record it.
Right.
Just,
I think some of the funniest video you guys put out is like when you catch Josiah off guard and just his facial expressions when you guys say something or do something, and he just kind of has that what look on his face.
You gave me a great idea for one of our next videos. Is Josiah likes to scare us, so he will hide behind a curtain, on the bus or something, and somebody comes by, and his favorite thing is to jump out. If we actually got him back for all of the jump scares done to us, just a video of us scaring him.
Yes.
I think that would be a good video because
Sure,
of
yeah.
his facial expressions would win the day. Yes.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For
You guys
sure.
post that, you can take credit.
Yeah. We may even unnecessarily bleep something out and make it, he probably didn't even say a bad word at all, but we make it just seem like he said one. Just
Nice.
Get him.
Very nice.
Yeah, just to have that over him. That'd be
yeah,
great.
hang that over his head. Center.
Yeah, should have been on the interview, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for leaving the interview. This is
Yeah.
what you
You're
get.
right. Yeah.
Training merch volunteers, but
So tell us a little bit about your Patreon. What kind of stuff can people find on there if they wanted to join that?
Man, it's awesome. Joey has a great show that people love. I've got a show that's just kind of me giving a message. Andrew's got an awesome show that he's doing called String Theory, and Joey's show is called The Breakdown. Josiah has a really cool show that is
strings.
Josiah has a cool show where he literally goes into Disciple songs and shows the different recording tracks of how the song was made. And so for people who are into recording, they just I mean some of the comments are I am so here for this content, because he gives them secrets and tips on recording. We also have a show called Story Behind the Song where we tell you the story behind the song. It's very on the nose what that show is about. And then we do a bunch of acoustic videos and stuff. So it's like Netflix for Disciple fans.
Nice. So how much is it to join?
There's tiers. You do $1, $5, $10, or $50 a month. Now $50 a month, folks. You do a Zoom call with them once a month. They get a merch drop every 3 months of just merch sent to their house. They never have to pay for a Disciple show. Not sure what else.
Yeah, it's a great deal, actually.
Big discount on the online merch store. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and you get joining for as little as $1, you get 6 free Disciple acoustic albums that are only available through Patreon. So not on Apple Music.
You definitely need to join Sanchez because if you're into the acoustic stuff like Promise to Live, there's 6 albums, 40,
60 something songs,
50, 60 songs like that waiting for you.
Jennifer, if you're watching, I'm doing that. Just letting you know. So don't get mad at me.
Factor it in.
Right,
Follow
right.
you.
Yeah, these guys came up with the idea. They have the best ideas, and I've been blown away by how much people love it.
Well, like I said a few minutes ago, we really want to be respectful of your time. So is there anything else that you would like to share with the viewers and listeners of Rock for Him?
Oh man, just appreciate the interview. Thank you guys.
Are you wearing the Reclaim the Day shirt? I just was noticing that. Yeah, I produced that song with Josiah, so
Yep.
You did? I did not know that.
played a little
Once
guitar on
again.
it because it was
And
pandemic times and they
Okay.
couldn't come to the studio.
Long live the Rebels.
That's my favorite Disciple shirt we've ever done.
Yeah, I didn't know that you had produced that. We're really good friends with Reclaim the Day. Becca's probably one of our closest friends, so that's awesome.
We've done several songs together. I couldn't name them all right now, but there's that Psalms EP and then a couple other singles too. So
Awesome.
We
I'm
got
gonna, I'm gonna give her grief for not telling us that. So before you guys hop out of here, Kevin, as you were on last time, we like to pray for you guys. How can we pray for you?
that our bills get paid and business and personal bills get paid and our wives, our family, our kids.
Okay.
it's a lot of work to support us from the family and our fans, everybody that contributes to this. So
Okay.
All right.
always appreciate the prayers.
All right.
Thank
I
you,
will.
Thank you all.
God bless y'all.
Bye, guys.
All right. So I'll go ahead and pray us out real quick, and then we'll let you guys go. Great and Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the guys coming on. I ask that you watch over them and bless them and just keep them safe on tour. Lord, I just ask that you provide for them financially, just keep the bills paid for them. Lord, I ask you watch over all of their families. They are such a blessing to so many people, so just watch over their families, put a hedge of protection on them and keep them safe while they're on tour. Lord, we thank you for your son, Jesus Christ, coming to earth and dying for us. Lord, just again, continue to watch over them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We
Appreciate it, guys.
appreciate you.
You guys
All
have a nice
right.
night.
Hopefully we'll talk to you
Yes.
soon.
Yep, we'll talk soon. Thanks, guys.
For those watching and listening, before you guys get out of here, I just want to give you a real quick thing here. The benediction for today is Matthew 28:19-20. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always to the end of age. I know they didn't get to stay until the end of this, but we appreciate them coming on. So guys, remember that if you're going to rock for him. And
If you like what you saw today, hit the subscribe and like button down below, and don't forget to share to all your friends. Also, leave us a comment down below. If you're gonna rock for him.